You're such an asshole.
Hey everybody, Aaron Clare here. That heavy breathing is a French bulldog, which is the bane of my existence. You can't see him because he's short, but hopefully he won't be the entire time. A young gal writes, "Hi Aaron, thank you so much for your help. I would like you to do a video request on red flags when it comes to dating men. Let me know how much it would cost. I kindly ask that you keep me anonymous. Thank you, and we'll keep you anonymous." Hey, dog, come here. Come here. Come on. Up. Up. No. You're gonna make noise. There. Alright. Shh. You know what I'm talking about. We've talked about this before. Shh. Don't know. No. You don't want this. This is what you don't want. Ah, he's a nice dog. Alright, let's be quiet. Okay? We're gonna be quiet. Shh. Quiet. Alright. Of course you're gonna run down. Now you're gonna make more noise. Shh. Shh. Okay, so I put together a list. Consulted some women, and then also I thought of people I know personally who are just losers and have wasted many women's time. I don't know how you girls keep going on with these guys, and you think there'd be some pretty obvious red flags, but you girls will pick up on it. So we're gonna start some pretty basic stuff. And we're going to go into some more nuanced stuff that are hints and indications that there's something more fundamentally wrong with men that you're about to date or are dating. First one, no job. I understand if there's a recession. I understand the state of the economy is, the guy's laid off. But what I'm talking is the guy who's perennially unemployed. All right. I'm no reliable U.S. corporate man, but I always had 2 jobs, usually 3, where I would never be unemployed. Wouldn't have to answer to anybody. We're talking people who are like in and out, in between, living with mom and dad, perpetually late with rent, needing to bund money out because they don't have a job. They get a job for like 2 or 3 months. Oh, this job sucks, good man, and then like they're unemployed for 4 months. Then they go do another 3 or 4 month stint, and then they're unemployed again. All right, those are the guys you want to avoid. No real profession. All right, I'm not saying they got to be a doctor or a surgeon or an astronaut, but your man must be either currently engaged in, employed in, or pursuing a certification in some kind of profession or trade. And it really doesn't matter. Now you got to, again, you provide some caveats. No 18-year-old boy is going to have a profession or a trade, but they should be working towards it, or they should be building up money working some lame job so they could afford a programming boot camp or go to college or something like that. As long as there's some kind of trade, it really doesn't matter. I remember one gal, she was dating a butcher. Another gal was dating a baker. The candlestick maker. No. What else? One guy was an entrepreneur who ran a sandwich shop. Your accountants, your engineers, stuff like that. About the only professions I would avoid are your standard leftist liberal arts, non-profit types, because those men, we'll get to it later, are not real men. They're just not. There's something off about them. But as long as they, a chimney cleaner, a mechanic, a cop, something, that is what, because that's what a real man does, is he becomes I wouldn't say a master, but he specializes in a trade or a skill of any kind. And that's how he makes his living. No plans or goals. In addition to the career, healthy men have plans and goals like, I want to retire in Rapid City. I want to go and golf in Las Vegas. I want to have a family. I want to go become a great chess player. I want to master the violin. He can't just go to work, come back home, and play video games and watch TV. All right? That is... I've been riding a motorcycle. My shoulder's killing me. He's got to have something where there is a craft of some kind outside of his work that he wants to special hobbies, but in terms of life goals, he has to be pursuing something. It could be something simple. No, I just want to have early retirement and lie around on a beach drinking mojito. All right, cool, but that's going to give him a reason to work hard, produce, and support himself, and then any kids or wife he might want to have along the way. No savings and or a ton of debt. If somebody doesn't have savings, someone is not thinking about planning for the financial future. They have no 401k, IRA, I don't know, darn it. I don't know if you're in Canada. In that case, it would be an RSP. That means he's a bad financial planner. He should have an emergency. Not that you're going to interrogate him about his personal finances, but if he's got credit card debt, he's always talking about money problems. That's a bad sign. That means he can. If they have, let's admit what debt is. If you have a fair amount of debt, that means you're parasitic. You can't support yourself. You need the money of other people to get by. And men and women are both guilty of this. But if you're looking for a quality man, men have, you can have a mortgage. Student loan. You recently graduated. I'll even grant these dumb shit boys the right to have a little bit of car loan. Because, oh, dude, I'm going to get this fancy car. I'm going to get the checks. Because they're dumb. They're dumb in that regard. But if you're like a 45-year-old man and you got credit card debt and you got a car loan or you're leasing a car, no, that's a bad sign. It's not the end of the world because most men, they're no different than women. Most Americans are debt addicts. So we're talking very few people. But, if he's got a bunch of credit, it's the type of debt too. If he's got a bunch of credit card debt, no. No Moochers if he's asking you to pay for dinner. I'm not saying you're a fair share. Like if you say, hey, you're covering dinner this time. That's cool. All right? Because we respect you women. We want you to be independent and equal. But if he's like, hey, can you lend me $20? Hey, can you, oh man, this deal didn't go through and oh man, I can't make rent. Like if he's asking you for living expenses, that's a problem. So you don't want to, oh hey, can I live with you rent free? They're late on rent. I don't know how you girls let that happen. How you give these deadbeats that kindness, but you do. So no Moochers. A liken to it, not independent. He's living at home. He constantly needs money. He's late on rent. His buddies, if he has them, it's like, yeah, he owes us money. Anybody says, yeah, he owes us money. No. You want an independent man. That is, I'd say, the one defining characteristic of a real man is that he is independent. He doesn't need anybody. Unacceptable levels of student loan debt. I know I said it was okay, but if this guy went to the 15th tier law school at the strip mall and now has $250,000 in debt, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's law school or not, but we're talking the volume, the nominal number of debt. If it's above, I'd say $50,000, you don't date him. And I would even say, like, that's if you're young. Again, if you're 30 and you have $30,000 in student loans, no. I mean, that's like, at 30, you should have no student loans. Period. The guy should have no student loans. He should be working 2 jobs to pay it off. Right? But yeah, definitely, if you're in 6 figures of student loan debt, unless he's a doctor or a dentist or a pharmacist where, okay, yeah, he's going to go make $200,000, all right, then I'll grant you that exception. But if he's some idiot kid who's got his master's degree in English literature like this moron wrote at some website I read through, no. Because you don't want to take on that financial liability. Why would you? You're going to pay for it, and that's what happened in that article. His wife ended up having to pay for his student loans. Usually it's the other way around. But it doesn't matter, husband, wife, you're going to have to inevitably take on his... And if you marry him, well, I don't know what the state rules and laws are, but now you're legally hitched to him. No drugs, booze, legal or illegal. All right, now I understand a lot of guys drink, I drink, but you don't want an alcoholic, all right? And even then, maybe there's some, they go to an AA meeting, that's a good sign. But I'm talking like where it starts ruining their lives, like they can't function. I don't care if they're an occasional user of pot. No, man, it's not cool, man. No potheads. Even occasional, no. Because pot is dumb. That's dumb. You want red flags? That's a dumb move. I mean, not that there's any... okay, there's some long-term, constant regular use. But pot is just... It's like, dude, get that's low IQ. Yeah, doing pot is so low IQ. Oh, you heard Elon Musk? Yeah, good for him. Good for him. So you don't want that. And then any legal or illegal drugs. You know my position on these fake or made up or abused mental illnesses. I don't care if they're real or fake. Whether someone thinks they have it or actually has it, you don't want to be anything to deal with them. So if they're on lithium because of bipolar disorder, no. If they're on whatever, anti-anxiety meds, whether they actually have anxiety disorder or not, no. Because if they do have the mental illness, well, they have a mental illness. Screw that shit. And if they don't have the mental illness, but they think they do and they're on drugs, well, that's even worse. So in either case, you want nothing to do with them. So anyone, I got depression, I got ADHD, I got autism, I got this, I got that. Bye. Bye. I want a diseased-free man. Both venereal and mental. Too many toys he can't afford. He's got his snowmobile, he's got his boat, he's got his leased Beamer, he's got all these toys, and you do some quick math, like, well, he's a senior accountant, he only makes about 75, 80 grand. The more toys he has, the worse. Especially things that can be rented. There's the 3F rule. If it floats, flies, or fornicates, and we didn't use fornicate in banking, if it floats, flies, or fornicates, you rent it. Okay? But if he owns a boat, he owns a what do they call it? A snowmobile. He's got a slingshot car. He's got all these toys. And there's nothing wrong with having toys. I have 2 motorcycles and a truck. I enjoy them very much. But I don't think I paid more than $5,000 for any 3 of them. They're all paid for, bought in cash. I'm talking like new, like he's leased a Beamer. So another thing, he leases means he doesn't have the money. If you borrow money, lease or borrow money, you got a car loan, that means you can't afford the vehicle. So that's another thing. Like you pull up, you know he makes roughly around X, and then he's got toys that would indicate Y. That's bad. That's very bad. Oh, here, the fake businessman, the fake success. He's like a salesman. He's busy. I'm in business. I'm busy. Oh, I'm running a business. Real estate developers, these type of guys. Every once in a while, you'll find one that actually is financially successful. The remaining 99.9% of the time, it is all fake, man. All fake. Trust you me, I saw it working in banking. I see their balance sheets come in. I see their tax returns. I see it's audited. These guys got nothing. And what they do is they borrow and they spend a lot of toys. They have fancy clothes. Watch, there's a couple videos out there, the difference between a millionaire and a fake millionaire. Your millionaires dress kind of like me. Well, maybe not this crappy, but they're not wearing fancy clothes. They're not going and getting bottle service. They don't lease fancy beer. The millionaire, the 2 millionaires that came in, that frankly didn't need our bank. The guy showed up in a Ford Ranger, used. And the other guy, he was a dentist, and they weren't wearing fancy clothes, and they pull up in fancy cars. Okay, but they wouldn't brag it. They wouldn't flash. Oh, I trade cryptocurrency. Yo, dude. They weren't like that. They weren't your Tony Robbins, Ty Lopez talking about how successful they were, how much business they. Here's another one. This is very key. This will explain it even better than the way I'm doing it now. If they talk about how much money their company brought in, not profit, but revenue. There's a difference. Revenue and sales, they're the same thing. Okay? That's the total amount of money they took in. Then you got to pay expenses. You got to pay your employees, insurance, you got to pay for the raw materials, whatever business it is that you're running. The money they made is the bottom figure, it's the profit. Salesmen, bankers, fake dude bros, fake businessmen, these posers will talk about how much business they did, how much revenue the company brought in. They will never tell you what the profit is, because there was no profit, it was a loss. And then they go and borrow more money, and so that's a great. So if they're always talking about the business and how successful they are, big red flag, means they're not successful. And you know the quickest way to say, really? I'd love to see your tax returns. I'd love to see your Schedule C. I'd love to see some audited income statements of your company, and then they'll tell you that, and if they show it, well, we show a loss, so we don't have to pay taxes. It's like, no, you have a loss. You're not making no money. Not punctual on time, that's a big one. That means they are egocentric. They're not even aware that other people are around. They're incapable of altruism. If they're always late, perpetually late, you have nothing to do with them. Those are very selfish, dumb people. No hobbies or crafts outside of work. They got to have something to pursue. Akin to having goals, but this is more something a hobby or a craft. Like, oh, you know, he likes to play Texas Hold'em poker, or he likes walking his dog, or he likes, you know, of the limitless number of hobbies and crafts, you could do. He's got to have a couple, at least one. And it can't be video games, staying home, watching TV. And it's not watching sports. No sports. Mm-mm. If he's if he's wearing another man's jersey, very low IQ, very average, very dumb. Nope. I understand if they're a Packers fan. Oh, let's get them. Go Pack. Or they're a Vikings fan who have never won a Super Bowl ever and always will let you down. Okay, you take in the occasional game. All right, you good. But if he's getting emotionally upset at the loss of their team or his team, yeah, 86 that guy. No friends. That's a big one. And friends that, if he has no friends that pick on him, that's two things, but in the same category. If a guy doesn't have friends, there's something wrong. All right? I understand if you're older and your friends don't go out anymore because they're old, traitorous fucks. Okay. But they have kids, they have careers, but they still occasionally hang out. That's cool. Guy needs friends. When you hang out with him, his friends better pick on him. Everybody better be picking on him because it means he could take it. It means that he doesn't take himself too seriously. And it means people really love him. So if you walk in with your guy you're dating, and the first thing you hear is someone yelling at him, "Hey, dick nuts!" Then that's a pretty good guy. If you got all the other guys calling him epithets and curse words and racial jokes and whatever else, that means that's good. That's very good. If he walks in and people are like, "Oh, hey Tim, hey Bob," and no one picks on him, there's no kind of exchange of BS between the guys, that's bad. Because no guy really likes him. And he's probably way too serious, and he's way too angry. And anger is a good thing, but that's evil. They're almost charitably inviting him over. And if they don't loop you into it, well, oh, wait, whoa, did you pay for her? What's going on? What, are you all right, sweet? Do you need mental help? What's wrong? You going out with this crazy guy? Good. Oh, hi, nice to meet you. Bad. Coming from the guys. Girls always be, "Oh, hi, nice to meet you. I'll stab you in your throat later when you're not looking because you're hotter than me." But that's women. Men, a guy goes, "Oh, nice to meet you." No. Oh my God, what? Are you from the church? Are you going out with him charitably? That's good. So, that's it. All right, any guy who's an ist or an ism, who values himself on his politics or beliefs or ideas. So we could, normally leftist ideologies, feminism, a male feminist, no. Although he'll be so physically revolting, you won't want to go out with him anyway. But he's a liberal, he's a leftist, he's for Hillary Clinton, he's for Barack Obama. Oh, I think of the children. I'm a vegan, I'm an anarchist, I'm a this-ist, I'm a that-ist, I'm an environmentalist. Anything on the left political spectrum is antithetical to being a real man. It just is. Hey, are there the occasional masculine men? Yeah, I saw this one guy with hair bun, he could actually beat me up. He was ripped. I was like, okay, well, that guy's, there's a statistic. But every other guy with a hair bun or salmon jeans, the old captain could have easily taken him out. And if this guy is such a weak, wimpy, leftist cuck, he's not going to be able to defend you or protect you or be willing to. You're going to want to talk, let's talk. No, you want a guy who, unfortunately, will go and sacrifice himself for you, but those liberal men are just not capable of it. They're just not. And the other thing is they're going to put their ideology and their politics ahead of you. I understand having principles, like I will never date a leftist woman. I just won't. It's like, you're not. You stab me in the back. You vote against freedom. You vote against my success. Why would I have you go out with me? You're not going to get to go out with me. Go find some leftist schmuck. And it's the same thing here with these liberal leftist men. They're low IQ. They're conformists. I'd say parasitic, consciously or unconsciously. But they're anti-male. Not that they're against men, but it's antithetical to being male. Relying on the government, relying on other people, and being touchy and feel. No, dude. Doesn't have a car or driver's license. Now this depends. Like if you're in New York City or Chicago, okay, you don't really need a car. It doesn't make sense to have it there. But pretty much anywhere else in the United States, the guy should have his own freaking car. And it should be a reliable car. It doesn't have to be a nice car. It should be a reliable car. And the dude should have his driver's license. Okay? You better have your driver's license. I'd even say that's whether or not you're living in a major metro area or not. The guy should know how to drive and should be legally allowed to do so. So that's another one. One-itis. Oh, this is bad. This is where you get the stalkers and the creepers and the obsessors. You'll go out with this guy, you'll be the first girl he's ever dated, and he could damn well be in his 20s, and then he'll get obsessed about it. And the reason this happens, the reason you get one-itis or obsessors or creepers or stalkers, is because these guys have jack fuck all shit going on in their real life, which doesn't exist. They maybe have a job, they maybe get by, but they got nothing. No friends, no hobbies, no nothing. And so they're looking to you to give them some kind of value. Not too unlike, politics again, where you have this loser. And I'm a vegan, I'm a vegetarian, I'm a feminist. It's like, yeah, but what do you do? Well, I saw a tweet. Some gal was registering in New York, and she's the first non-binary registered, non-bi-gender person to register at New York State or something like that. And it's like, well, good for you. What else have you done? I mean, she was proud of this. Like, well, you didn't do anything for that. You just claimed to have some other sexuality that didn't exist before, and you just happen to be first in line. That's not an accomplishment. That's not an achievement. What do you do? So it's the same thing with these obsessive one-itis type of guys, where there is nothing going on in their life, and they think they own you. And since that you're the only thing they have going on in their life, they're just as rabid and psychopathic as ideologues and leftists and feminists and vegans, and like, that's all I have. So if you say no to that guy, now he creeps you out, and he goes into weird ass shit to try and get you. So you want to look out for the virgins, 25-year-old and plus. There are some rare instances where that might be okay, like they were at war. They were busting their asses off in college. That's what ended up happening to me. They were sick, like they had a medical condition. So, okay, there's a reason there. But if you're like early to mid-20s and the guy's or here's another one. They've never dated a girl before? I mean, dude, okay, I wasn't slaying it, but man, I dated a lot. I interacted with women. So you want to look out for those guys. You'll get the creepy feel. You'll get the feel from them. But if they've never dated, they have no other experience with women, that's pretty bad. Then there's obsession, calls too much, he doesn't have anything else going on in life, they're texting all the time. It's like, dude, do you have nothing else going on? They don't. And now you're it. And they think they own you. It's scary and freaky. Saw a lot of it. And I've had a couple clients where I'm like, dude, you don't own women. They're not property. They're other sentient human beings. So you gotta look out for those guys. Right? Typically nerds. Typically immigrants, won't lie. There are Americans that do this as well, but they come over from here and they've seen TV, they're just so fucking helpless and nerdy. And they think that, American blondes with big boobs are all over the place and they're easy and they're gonna go out with me. No, they think they gotta do nothing at all to get it. So you gotta look out for those types. Controlling. This pissed me off. I was listening to NPR Money Planet, and they were talking about how they're tracking garbage to make some economic decisions. And you were allowed to bring in garbage, and they would track it, and you could watch it on the internet where your garbage went. So they're talking about this one poor woman, came in, and she had a teddy bear. And they're like, what's wrong with this teddy bear? Why would you want to throw it away? She's like, this is my teddy bear I've had since I was a kid. Like, well, why are you throwing this away? You can't throw this away. She says, my boyfriend is making me get rid of it, so I want to see where it's going. And the old captain's got to remember that, like, my friends are not evil, because I wouldn't hang out with them, but that doesn't mean there aren't evil guys out there. That controlling stuff, no. I am very libertarian. Dare do what you want. Go pursue here's some key things. We're going to go towards this goal and path in life, but I don't care what your hobbies are, as long as it isn't hard drugs or prostitution. I mean, go whatever. Go do your religion. Go do, people who want, I'm Catholic, and now you have to be Catholic, blah, 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 equally. I mean, that's controlling enough right there. You'll see it a lot from religious people. But men, there's a lot of men out. I saw it in Wyoming. Oh my God, I saw it in Wyoming. I taught my ballroom dance class, and it was like 9 women and 2 or 3 guys, and so all these gals had wedding rings on, and they're all dressed up. I said, where are your husbands? And they're like, oh, they're there. And their husbands were all sitting at the bar, because it was at a bar, and I'm teaching them. I'm like, do they want to participate? Like, oh no, they're just watching over us, making sure we're behaving. And I'm like, what? 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 The other one, when I asked, this was in Wyoming again. You want to see possessive men? Go to Wyoming. You want to see small dick, insecure men? Go to Wyoming. This gal, she was in her 60s, and she knew how to foxtrot. Now I was watching. I'm like, oh, she's a good foxtrotter. I'm gonna dance with her. Then then other women will know. Oh, he knows how to dance. He'll dance with me. It's an old tactic. So I went up to her. I said, hey, would you like the foxtrot? I was 30. She was 60. You have to ask my husband. I'm like, oh, how cute and quaint. So I go up to this older than her, 70. And he's just this old guy. I'm like, you mind if I take your wife out for a dance for a foxtrot? He's like, yes, I do mind. You can't. I'm like, listen, Jessup, I'm not gonna go run off to fucking Bermuda with her. I'm gonna take her out dancing the foxtrot. You want to look out for that. Now, it's okay if the guy's a little jealous, doesn't want you dating other guys. That's natural. But where you can't foxtrot with a guy that has no sexual interest in you, you can't go to the church you want, you gotta get rid of your teddy bear, anything like that, where your life goals are somehow crippled, or he wants to control, like, they're not even life goals, but microscopic details. Oh, no, that's bad. That's very bad. So you do want to look out for that. Bad fashion. Like St. Clair, isn't that a little... No. Bad fashion. You want to avoid people with bad fashion because they're not picking up on the clues society is giving them. Right? I don't mean, okay, but I'm going to go hiking. This is practical and functional. If I want, I could dress up. I think every once in a while you guys have seen an occasionally good picture of me on Instagram or something. So the old cap, I had suits, I had a dress. I know what fashion is. I'm talking not even necessarily immigrants, because they don't know what the fashion is. I'll grant them a little bit of leeway there. But the nerdy white guy who grew up in middle America and has never left his basement and then has slacks and the pedophile shirt, those type of guys. If I'm not saying they have to have the fanciest, Cavaricci jeans, where the latest fashion is, and wearing salmon-colored jeans, but if you look at them and you're like, boy, the fashion is off, that means they're off. They're not picking up on societal clues. They aren't paying attention to much else beyond themselves. Okay? So that's more an orange flag, yellow flag, not really red, but it's something to like, oh, why is he dressing like a pedophile? So that's a bad thing there. A braggart, all talk, no action. This is akin to the guys who, like, they're successful businessmen. I run a business, blah, 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 blah. They're all talk and no action. Like, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and then they never do it. And I'm going to bust his balls. Although he never talked about it. So I'll give you an example where it's not perfectly analogous, but let's put it this way. You guys all know the Beckloff. He had his original channel, had a strike or two against it or whatever. And so he set up a second one. But it took him damn well near 2 months to set up a second one. Then my original channel got a strike against it. And then the very next day, I had a channel set up. Now, Chris never said anything about, like, well, I'm going to set up and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. That's not my point. The point is, there are people who say, well, I'm going to set up another channel, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and then they never do it. Okay? That's what you want to look out for. All these dreams and goals, and I'm going to start a business, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to set up, when I set up olderbrother.com, I set up olderbrother.com. When I want to do assholeconsulting.com, I set it up. Like, in a day. Registered, programmed, linked, hosted, everything. So, in terms of all the, what was it? Another guy, I'm going to run a restaurant. Another guy was I'm going to start a mechanic shop. I'm going to go into business for myself. All these dreams, but no actions. And then they're sitting there watching TV. Guys who watch TV, no. In general, this is yellow flag, but guy who watches TV, no. Not really. Guy should be doing. Guy should always be doing something. Always be doing something. Hey, take in, like, The Saint or occasional episode of Sherlock, but Yeah, I mean, if you were to ever hang out with me, you'd be like, oh yeah, he is working all the time. Having fun at the same time, but working all the time. Fake or real mental illness, I think we covered that with the legal or illegal drugs. I don't care if it's fake or real. Not your problem. No, you have every right to go into their medicine cabinet and look and see what kind of drugs they're on. Absolutely. If they're from a broken family, from a broken family myself, I know I'm going against myself on this one, but yeah, if he doesn't know who his dad is or mom raised him, you'll be able to tell. They'll vote Democrat. It's bad, man. It's really bad. I mean, that's, and I know that wipes out more than half the population. But if, like, he never knew who his dad was, dad is a deadbeat, he's got half siblings, that's a big sign right there. Not from a nuclear family, he is going to have issues. Some of which he might have overcome, but that's orange, yellow, orange, red flag. Comes from a rich family. This is the opposite side. Comes from a rich family and is spoiled. Kids that don't have to work for it. I know some rich kids whose dad made them work. And they came all right. But you get rich kids. Rich kids are a pain in the ass. Where your dude bros are, and they party, and they're in Vegas. And they got bottle service, and they're driving dad's car. Like, if dad helped them pay for their car, that's a bad thing, because they're just not mature enough. They've never endured suffer. They've never endured pain. It stunts their growth as becoming a real man. Complains but takes no action to solve it. Every guy's going to complain. I complain daily because no one operates at my speed. And I always wait. I'm always waiting on people. But I do whatever I can to take... Here, the back off. Again, I'm busting your balls, Chris, because I love you. This is a perfect example. Chris complained for about a good solid month about the YouTube strike against him. And then he got it. It's like, you take action, man. This is why, again, the older brother, I call it the USS older brother, it's a completely backed up system that in case my original YouTube channel goes down or whatever else, I have a completely functional battleship ready to go. That is PG and PG-13, and so there's no cursing, or whether it's cursing and swearing, but it's all politically correct. It's all wonderful and nice. But I did not wait. I immediately went to work on it. My motorcycle, the blinker's not working. Guess what I'm going to do later on tomorrow? I'm going to fix that thing. And right now I'm using arm signals. Water heater went out. Fly out, fix it. Don't just sit there and complain. You get on it. So you can complain, but there is, what was it, the Marines? You could complain, but I want to hear a solution. Like, you can't complain unless you provide a solution. That was basically it. Irrational anger and control. And I say irrational because all men become men by going through trials and tribulations and tough times. That's what we do. It's the fires of hell that galvanize and forge the strongest of steel. And so I think men have every right to be angry at some level about something. But if it's irrational and it's uncontrollable, that's where we get talking about the guys, like, you walk into a party with your buddy, or you're not your buddy, your date, and nobody picks on him, and he's very serious, like, can't take a joke. Big anger issues. Big anger issues. I know one guy, I was joking with everybody, and like, he took personal offense to the joke I made about him, and he wanted to kick my ass. I'm like, wow, you are really angry about something. And that is tainting and ruining everything else. And maybe they go figure out, oh, my mother abused me or whatever. It doesn't matter. You're not there to figure out the why. You just have to deal with what is. Irrational, like guys yelling at. I remember I was on a boat with a former buddy of mine, and there was a no wake area, meaning you're not supposed to go fast on the boat because it causes a wake and that erodes the waves, then erode the shoreline. And he turns the boat around to go after this guy and yell at him. Because he was going too fast. He wasn't going that fast, but to yell him about the wake. I was like, wow. You got control issues, man. You had anger issues. That guy has no idea. So you got to be careful. Those chaotic, angry guys, they'll get in not a a fight, they'll get shot. And the bullet might miss him and hit you. And they're just not fun people. Not fun at all. So you want to look out for those guys. Another one, treats wait staff poorly. That's universal. I'm really nice with wait staff because I understand their situation. Not that I've ever worked it, but I probably treat the wait staff better than anyone I know. My group of friends. I got one buddy. He used to be a waiter, and he'll interrogate, not consciously, he'll interrogate the poor waiter or waitress about all the details. What is it? I was like, dude, will you shut the fuck up and order your goddamn food? They got 3 tables to get to. So how people treat wait staff is a very thing. And then finally, oh, I'm sorry, this is the second to last. Doesn't like dogs. Not saying he has to have a dog or be a big fan of dog, but hates dogs. Doesn't like, oh, get that dog away from me. Something's wrong. Dogs are man's best friend. If you don't like dogs, even pathetic, worthless ones like you. You. Yes, I'm talking to you. Something's wrong there. And finally, if he hasn't seen Die Hard, that's the straw man. If he has not seen Die Hard, don't care. I'm joking on that one. Don't take it seriously. I don't know what you girls take seriously or not because you girls date such losers all the time. He didn't watch Die Hard? I shouldn't. Okay, I want it. It's a joke. It's a joke. All real men have seen Die Hard. And all real men know that John McClane, our God Almighty, is the one chosen savior of all of humankind. Alright, that's it. I gotta go to do a bunch of other videos. You guys got questions? Cappy's got answers over at assholeconsulting.com. I hope I saved you girls a ton. You just follow this. I will have saved you girls a ton of pain and agony, not to mention money. And some mental health. So, any other questions, go to assholeconsulting.com. And we'll see you guys then. Doodles.